Hey, what's up guys? Brian from BS Bassin coming to you today. Going through something new for me today, at least. It's a new boat behind me, and I got my registration numbers from Wisconsin in. Now it's time to get the decal put up. One thing I want to say is using a decal from a company that makes all of the numbers in one piece here is 100% more useful than buying the numbers individually, trying to line them up. This is going to be straight. It's going to look great. If you go online, you can get custom letters, different fonts, different colors, multicolor. You can get 3D domed letters as well. This is a white center with black outline on it. I bought these to match the emblems on the back of my Z19 here. And this right now, I put it in place. I'll explain why I have it in place the way I have it. So what I did was I measured from the top of the letter a 1/4 inch up and from the top of the letter a 1/2 inch up. I have two black lines here. That's a 1/4 and a 1/2. Here on the other side, I have the same thing, a 1/4 and a 1/2. And what I did was I lined them up with the black on the top of my boat. And I understand this is going to be a little bit off. You'll notice the letters are a little bit lower here than they are on the sides. But it's perfectly straight across. The DNR will be able to see it. And I just put this one here to see how it's going to look from a little farther away without this flapping down, because when it's like this I can definitely see it no matter where I'm at. So this is where I want to put it. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the process of actually applying this to the boat. So this right here is the process of lining it up. I chose to go with a 1/2 inch gap on the top to the red and a 1/2 inch gap to where the white line here meets. And I think this is going to look pretty sleek going down the boat like this. I could go further back and get it flatter, but I just feel when it's in the front of the boat, it's not as obvious, or it's not as sticking out to where it's not an eyesore. And as well as going with nicer letters on your decals, that's going to keep it from being an eyesore as well. All right, so let's go through this next process. Okay guys, so once you decided where you want to put your decals or your graphic on your boat and you have it lined up the way you want it, the next step is going to be to transfer the decal from the adhesive side to the actual boat. The first step is going to be clean your boat really, really well. Make sure you don't have any waxes or anything on it in that area. When you're done, reapply a wax to it. Take care of your boat, but at this time, if you want that adhesive to stick really well, you're going to have to wipe it down really good. The next thing that I use is I do use a little water with soap in it. I only have a couple drops of dish soap in this bottle, and this bottle's about halfway full. It's not glass cleaner, it is water with soap in it. So I use that actually behind the decal once I have it in place. The other thing I'm going to use is a sponge. This is like a grouting sponge. Just going to allow me to wipe most of the moisture out of behind that decal. Then I have here my VIP discount card. I'll use that to wipe the bubbles out as well. And then for the smaller items, I have a very small hard card that I'll be able to push any bubbles out with. One thing I want to mention about the bubbles and decals, it's not always air or fluid behind it. A lot of times it's dust. So make sure you do this in a very clean environment, and whatever steps you can take to get dust from behind that decal away from it is definitely going to pay off in the end. You'll have a very sleek, clean application of your decal. Alright guys, so the next step is to apply this painter's tape to the top of the decal to make sure that the transfer paper doesn't move when I'm transferring the decal from the actual adhesive, the backing of it, to the boat itself. To do that, I'm going to apply this all the way across the top of the decal. Another thing that I've learned, guys, is you always want to move from your center of your decal outward. That way any pockets can move this way, or if you're going from one side to the other, you may actually end up wrinkling your decal in the center of it. So this next step, I'm going to peel the decal away from the boat a little bit so that I can pull the backing off. But I'm going to fold this up so I can look. And at this time, if you see any dust or any particles on this, you definitely want to get rid of it now. Make sure you don't have any dust, any grease, oil behind it. Make sure you do not have any of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to apply the soap and water before I peel the backing off of the decal. This way, if the decal does start to stick at all, at least I have that wet behind it. So hopefully I'll be able to move it a little bit if needed. And that's a lot of moisture, guys, but what I want to tell you is I don't have to worry about taking this decal off because I'm not going out on the water tomorrow. So all that moisture will end up working its way out just fine, and it'll dry behind there. There will not be any adhesion issues with this. Like I said, the first step I take is I use my sponge. I'm going to go right in the center, make sure that that top piece that's going to hold my decal in place where I wanted it is the first piece I'm going to put down. Now, I'm working from the center outward so that we don't get any wrinkles in here. And as you can see, because of all the water behind it, the decal's not sticking perfectly. That's fine. That gives you a little bit of time to work with it. You don't necessarily need it completely adhered right away. The good thing is with the sponge, when you push that water out, it'll also absorb it so it's not just dripping all over you. Just going to peel my tape away out of the top. This decal really shouldn't move at this point. It shouldn't move to the point where it's just going to fall off. So I have that off. I'll get rid of this tape. And now I'll be able to work with my large scraper. I'm just going to work it a little bit more, and that moisture should come right out of it. One thing to note is don't go really sharp around sharp edges and push hard to get the bubbles out. Work away from the edge. If you catch that edge, you could peel the edge up, and when you're done and you peel your transfer piece off, you're going to see that the edge is a little tore up. Alright guys, now is the time. If you see any bubbles, you definitely want to work them out now. If you let these bubbles dry in, they're going to be harder to work out. And the point of applying the little bit of soap and water is to actually prevent those from occurring. I'll wipe this out again. I'm going to look for any bubbles. I don't see any. It's a very good decal that I purchased. It's not a cheap one. You will find if you order some very thin decals, low quality, maybe $10 for the set for both sides, those decals aren't going to be good. They're going to be so thin that sometimes just wiping the bubbles out with a card will cause that decal to tear or to lift or to just push apart. You know, like on a 3, you may get the 3 hanging downward because it's a cheap quality decal. It wasn't made for the environment exposure that it's going to have. These ones here are specifically for boats. The company that I dealt with extremely well, custom ordered these. They worked with me. They sent me proofs before I actually paid for them. Very good company to work with. I'll leave a link below for them. I want to say it's Bermuda Shorts Company or Bermuda Shorts Decals. Very good company to work with. They don't, sponsor me or anything or endorse me, but I will say I'll definitely give a shout out to anybody that puts a good product out. I'm not going to hold anything against them. I'm not going to badmouth them, especially if they're doing something good. Now, if I'm paying for a product and it is lesser quality than expected, I will call them out on it. I'll let them know that this isn't a quality product, and for the price that I paid, maybe I feel like I should have got a better quality product, or it's not as described. I'll call them out on it. I have no problem with that. But so far, this is the second boat that I've purchased decals through them for. My last boat that I sold, you'll probably see that in another video, but if they work with me once, I'll work with them twice, So this side's done. I'm going to let this set up. I honestly believe we'll be able to take it off tonight. I'll probably take it off tomorrow. I'll come back to you guys tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening after work, and I'll pull these decals off. Now I'm going to do the same exact measurements on the other side of the boat. Wisconsin, you always put your logo on the back side of the decals, or your registration number. So just something to think about, guys. You also want that centered. Find a way that you can center it. Sometimes when you peel this transfer tape off, you can, although the other part of the Wisconsin decal's not adhesive, you can cut a piece of it out and set it on there, and then make your measurements like we did here. And then when you put it, you'll be dead center of your lettering here. It's going to make it look cleaner, more professional. It's definitely worth the time, guys. These stickers only go on your boat once. Make sure that you do it right. Don't buy a poor quality decal. Make sure that you do things right the first time. Anything worth doing is worth doing right. Alright guys, here we are. It's been one full day since I put this on. I'm not seeing any bubbles on it today. I'm going to wipe it one more time with a cloth, something just in between my hand and the decal itself, and then I'll pull the transfer tape off. Alright, looking at the letters, looks like I said, there's no bubbles in it, nothing moved, everything looks good and dry. I want to peel this transfer tape off about a 45-degree angle. And always be careful, right where you have the sharp end of a letter, you have the chance of actually peeling that letter up. So just be careful with that. Like I said, about a 45-degree angle away. Go slow, and just watch when you come over those edges of the letters so you don't pull something up. Alright, and at this time, if you do see any wrinkles in your letters, wrinkles or air bubbles, push them out. And I see between the W and the S right here, got a very small bubble. Alright guys, well, it looks like I don't have any bubbles in my decal. Everything looks good. This is going to be on there for years to come. I don't feel that I'm going to have any issues with that peeling off or with the durability of it as well. And one thing, since we did clean this really well, now that our decal is applied, the adhesive is on there, give it another couple hours or a day or so, and then actually just add wax to it like you're waxing your boat normally. Just give a good protection of sealer away from the UV rays and everything right on there. That way you don't have any issues. Alright guys, well, thanks a lot for watching another episode of BS Bassin.